The woman had lost her son to the army only a year before. Now she had some horrible news. Apparently he had gone missing from his platoon, and was believed to have been captured. It was all she could do to keep from tail-spinning into a deep, deep depression. The only thing that kept her going was knowledge that maybe she would hear some news. She spent every day on pins and needles, looking in her mailbox, wondering if the Department of the Army would have any news about her poor, poor son. Finally, she awoke one day with a sinking premonition. The sun was shining and the birds were singing outside. It was very bright in the home, the sun shining against the white walls and the morning seemingly frozen in a moment of perfection. Still, she couldn't shake that creeping, half-dreamlike feeling that something terrible was about to happen to her. She went out on the porch to check the mail. It was the usual selection of advertising circulars and bills. No, wait. Here was a letter. Oh my God, she thought to herself, eyeing the postmark. It was a letter from a foreign land. It was a letter from her son. She went inside, her hands trembling a little. She set her mail down on the kitchen counter. With trembling fingers, she carefully opened the letter, which was postmarked from Vietnam. It had such a curious Southeast Asian stamp and writing all over it. She carefully took out the letter. It was her son's handwriting, sure enough. Oh my, it was a glorious sight to her eyes. He was alive. He was alive. She began to read the letter. Dear Mom, I miss you so very much. I am being held a prisoner in a camp run by the glorious North Vietnamese Army. They are treating us very well. There is plenty to eat, lots of medical care, and daily exercise. I am more than happy to be a guest of such captors. Mother, I know you don't know this, but our country is wrong in fighting this war. This is a people's revolution attempting to save the country from the imperialist forces, such as the United States. The Vietnamese people are behind the NVA, and they will win. She frowned. This was her son's handwriting, but she knew he didn't really write this message. It was not him at all. Her son was a die-hard, loyal, patriotic American, and he hated the communists. She put the letter down. Oh well, she thought to herself. At least he says they are treating him well, even if he was forced to write this horrible screed. She suddenly began to examine the envelope. The stamp was partially coming off, and she thought to peel it off, to save it, because it was so unusual. To that end, she went into the kitchen, where she had put on a pot of tea to boil. She held the envelope over the steaming pot, hoping the steam would make the stamp come off easier. It did just that. She picked the stamp off of the envelope. That's curious, she said to herself. There seemed to be something written on the other side. She went to fetch a magnifying glass. She squinted hard at the little stamp. She then gasped in astonishment. She put her hand to her mouth, stifling a scream as her eyes went wide. She dropped the magnifying glass, the stamp, and reeled backward. It was too horrible to be true, but she knew it was true. The message read, "They've cut out my tongue."